Did you know that each reading passage in the IELTS reading test is approximately 900 words long? And what this really means is you'll need to read and understand nearly 2,700 words in just 60 minutes. And here's the surprising part. The average reading speed of an IELTS test taker is about 150 to 200 words per minute. But the test requires you to read around 300 words per minute to complete all questions in time. And this lower reading speed causes most students to spend too much time on their first reading passage, leaving less time for the harder passages that follow. And despite practicing, many students still score low because they focus on understanding every single word in the reading passage instead of grasping the main ideas and details quickly. As a result, over 25% of IELTS test takers fail to achieve their desired band score on the reading test. Sad, isn't it? What if I told you that today in this video, I am going to show you how you can improve your reading speed and ultimately boost your reading score significantly. Yes, you heard it right. In this video, I will be sharing some powerful speed reading techniques that have helped countless students just like you who are preparing for the IELTS exam. In this video, we will uncover the essential strategies that will help you improve your reading score. And not only will these techniques help you read faster, but they will also enhance your comprehension, enabling you to tackle even the most challenging reading passages with confidence. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you will have a clear action plan to increase your reading speed and achieve your desired IELTS band score. So let's get started and take your IELTS reading skills to the next level. Let's get started. Welcome IELTS champions. If we haven't met yet, my name is Simar and I am your go-to English language teacher for IELTS exam preparation. With my prestigious Cambridge CELTA certification and a solid band 9 across all 4 modules under my belt, you can trust that you're in good hands. I have been trained by both British Council and IDP with over a decade of experience. I specialize in turning your dreams of scoring a band 7 or above into reality. So let's dive in. So before we learn any tips that can speed up your reading speed, I think for the IELTS reading test, it's essential for you to understand the structure of the reading passage so your brain is ready for what is about to come. So for this purpose, I want to show you a reading passage that has been taken from Bridge IELTS 11, Test 1, Reading Passage 3. And I've intentionally taken this reading passage because it's a difficult reading passage and it's got 3 different types of questions. Alright, first let's take a closer look at the structure of the passage. So as you can see, we have a clear hierarchy. A main heading at the top, followed by a subheading, and then we've got 8 paragraphs labeled with heading A through H. Now let's talk about different types of questions we've been given in this passage. So in this passage, we've got 3 main types of questions. So first we've got which paragraph contains the following information, where you will need to locate the specific details within the passage. Next, we have one word filling the blank questions, which require you to find a single word that completes a sentence or phrase in the passage. Finally, we have matching information with correct scientist questions, where you will need to match information presented in the passage with the scientist mentioned in the questions. So understanding the structure of the passage and the types of questions you will face is essential for effective reading and answering. So similar to this, each time you're going to attempt a reading passage, I want you to look at the reading passage and see what's the heading, what's the subheading, if you've got any sub-paragraphs, what are the different question types you've got in that specific reading passage, so that your brain is ready what is about to come. So your brain is ready to process the information. All right, this is what we are about to do, because your brain works differently for different types of questions and for different types of reading skills that I have talked about in one of my other videos. I think if a video is about reading module, you cannot have that video without skimming and scanning. And I can't stress this point enough, how important these two tools are for the IELTS reading module. So skimming and scanning are two essential techniques used in reading comprehension to quickly extract information from a text. I'm going to show you in a minute how important these tools are. But first, let's just understand what's skimming and scanning. So skimming involves quickly glancing over the text to get the general overview of the content. So rather than reading every word, skimming focuses on reading headings, subheadings, topic sentence, first and last sentence of each paragraph. It also involves looking at the bold text, italics, or any underlines that are very much highlighted in the reading passage. Now coming down to scanning. Scanning, on the other hand, is a more targeted approach. It involves moving your eyes rapidly over the text to locate specific information or keywords. So instead of reading the entire passage, scanning requires the reader to search for particular words, phrases, or numbers that are relevant to the task at hand, such as answering questions or finding a specific information. So scanning is particularly useful when you know the keywords that will have the answer to your question. For example, if you're looking for a particular name in the passage, that's when scanning will help you. So you can quickly scan where that specific word is. You can go there and then look for that particular information. Let's take an example and see how these tools can be helpful. So I'm gonna specifically looking at question number 37 to 40 of the reading passage. As you could see, you've got 4 scientists and 4 statements, and you're expected to match each statement with the correct scientist. So we've got the name of the scientist and the statement. So I'm gonna pick out one name of the scientist and then find out quickly where in the reading passage I have got the name of that scientist, and then see what is the information in the reading passage that's given against the name of that scientist. And then I'm gonna come back to a statement and match with that information and see which of the statements from 37 to 40 matches with the information that I have found in the reading passage. So let's start with our first scientist, which is Roger Angel. So remember, in the reading passage, you might get the full name, or you could just get the first name, or you could even get the last name. So while scanning, we want to make sure we look for full name, first name, and last name. And also remember that the scientist name may appear in more than one reading paragraphs. So you might want to look at the different reading paragraphs when you see the scientist name to see if that information matches with the statements that's been provided to us. So let's start with Roger Angel. So we can see the mention in passage B and E. Let's check if this matches with any of the statements from 37 to 40. I'm going to look at passage E first, where it says, Angel says that his plan is no substitute for developing renewable energy, the only permanent solution. So here are the 4 statements, 37 to 40, and I encourage you to pause the video here and check which statement matches with the information that we have just read from the reading passage. As you can see, statement 40 says research into non-fossil based fuels cannot be replaced by geoengineering. This matches with the information from paragraph E. Therefore, the correct answer for the statement 40 is A, corresponding to Roger Angel. This demonstrates how we can use skimming and scanning techniques to efficiently locate and verify information in the IELTS reading test. So the next one is Phil, and we can see his reference in paragraph E. Let's scan this paragraph for relevant information about the views on geoengineering. In paragraph E, it says, I think all of us agree that if we were to end geoengineering on a given day, then the planet would return to its pre-engineered condition very rapidly, and probably within 10 to 20 years. That's certainly something to worry about. Now, let's look at our statements and see if this information matches with any of them. So again, here are the 4 statements, and I encourage you to again pause the video and see which statement matches with the information from the passage. As you can see, statement 37 reads, the effects of geoengineering may not be long-lasting. This matches perfectly with Dr. Phil's caution about temporary nature of geoengineering effects. Therefore, the correct answer to this statement is B, corresponding to Dr. Phil Rash. This process illustrates how skimming and scanning can help us quickly rotate and verify specific information in the reading test. So, by applying these techniques effectively, you can save time and improve your accuracy on the IELTS test. Next technique that I'm going to teach you is called chunking, which means reading groups of words together instead of one word at a time. This helps you increase your reading speed and improve comprehension. So what it really means is when you read one word at a time, your brain processes each word individually, which can slow you down and make it harder to grasp the overall meaning. By chunking, you read several words at once, allowing your brain to process ideas and information more quickly. Now, you might want to say, Simar, for me it's difficult to even read and understand word by word, and you are saying read in chunks? Yes, you heard it right. And let me say that you try it yourself and then tell me how you go. Let me give you an example from this reading passage. Take this sentence from paragraph 3, and I want you to read it word by word. How did you go? Now let's use the chunking method, and I'm gonna break down it into several parts. So here you can see I have broken down the same sentence into smaller chunks, and I want you to look at these smaller chunks and see if you're going to read them as smaller chunks rather than simple words, how easy is it going to be for you to understand and comprehend the information that is given in the reading passage. Remember to read in chunks rather than individual words to improve your reading speed on the IELTS test. Another technique that I'm going to teach you today to improve your reading speed is minimizing subvocalization. Now, subvocalization is the habit of silently pronouncing each word in your head as you read. While this can help with comprehension, it significantly slows down your reading speed. So by reducing this habit, you can read much faster. Let's break down how you can do this, how you can minimize subvocalization effectively. Number 1, understand what subvocalization is. So it is when you silently say the word in your mind as you read. It's almost like whispering the words to yourself. And why this is an issue? It helps with understanding, but it limits your reading speed to your speaking speed, which is much slower than your brain's processing speed. So what it really means is that your reading speed is actually equals to your speaking speed. If you actually struggle with pronunciation of something, you would struggle in actually reading that specific word, while your brain may be processing that word faster, but because you're trying to say that word as you're reading, it may slow down your reading speed. And all this happens unintentionally. You don't even realize what you're doing when you're doing all that. It happens unintentionally, like I said. So you really want to process your brain in a way that your brain knows that you wanted to minimize subvocalization so that you intentionally don't do it. So to do that, first thing you need to do is recognize your subvocalization. So the first step is to become aware of when you are subvocalization. Pay attention to whether you are pronouncing each word in your head as you read. So if you're doing so, Identify the triggers. Notice which type of text or specific words triggers subvocalization for you. And some of the techniques to reduce subvocalization is visual reading. So focus on seeing the words and phrases as images or ideas rather than speaking them. For example, instead of saying geoengineering in your head, visualize a large-scale environmental project. Another thing you could do is reading in chunks. So rather than just seeing the message of words to your brain, give message of chunks. So when you're giving message of chunks, your brain will actually process the meaning of that chunk rather than a single word. The next thing is silent counting. When you catch yourself subvocalizing, try counting silently in your head. This distracts your subvocalization process but still allows you to continue reading. Practice minimizing subvocalization and start it with small and simple text. Begin practicing with easier text. So as you get more comfortable, move on to more complex passages. And you intentionally tell yourself that you're gonna avoid subvocalization, you will actually work that. And like I said, you don't want to force yourself too much. So you just start with, smaller reading passages and also for smaller time. So if you're reading for 20 minutes, tell yourself that this time when you're going to read, you're not gonna see the words in your head as you read. And trust me, this is gonna improve your reading score drastically. Initially, it was difficult for me when I was learning this skill, but because now I read a lot of books, it's easier for me. I just visualize words as, images, or I read them in chunks. I actually try to get the meaning of that rather than, trying to say the words in my head naturally. So avoid this practice as this is gonna reduce your reading speed. The more you work on it, the better you will get at it. Another effective technique to boost your reading speed is using a pointer, like your finger or a pen, to guide your eyes as you read. This method helps you keep your focus and prevents you from losing your place, allowing you to read more efficiently. And not just reading in general, I'm talking about the IELTS reading test, where you get the big reading passages and you can simply lose your focus, or you can simply lose where you were when you're looking at different pages, because you need to always go back to your question when you're reading and come back to the original reading passage. So it's really important to have a pointer, to have a pen, to have finger, pencil, or any other small object to guide your eyes along the lines of text. Position the pointer under the line. Place the pointer just below the line you are reading. This makes it easier for your eyes to follow along without covering the text. And move the pointer steadily at consistent pace. So when you're moving it consistently at a steady pace, that does not challenge you and does not overwhelm you. So try to keep a rhythm that's a bit faster than your usual reading speed to push your limits. And you want to practice regularly. Give yourself timed sessions. Practice this technique using your timed sessions. Start with shorter passages and gradually increase the length as you become more comfortable. And this will definitely help you read at faster pace. So remember, if you want to read faster, you want to apply these skills in practice that I have just taught you in this video. And congratulations, you've just learned some powerful techniques to enhance your reading speed and comprehension for the IELTS reading test. Remember, mastering these skills take practice, so keep working on them consistently. Believe in yourself and stay committed to your goals. Every step you take brings you closer to achieving a band 7 or higher. You have the potential to excel, and with dedication, you will succeed. If you found this video helpful, please give it thumbs up, share it with your friends who are also preparing for the IELTS, and subscribe to my channel, Crack IELTS with Simmer, for more valuable tips and strategies. Together, let's make your IELTS journey a big success. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video.